So what effect does the new China tariffs have as an Amazon seller, and what can you do about it? In this video, I'll go over what the new tariffs are all about, how it affects us as sellers on Amazon, and what actions you can take to minimize the impact. But first, my name is Crescent, and if this is our first time meeting, welcome to my channel. My passion is sharing tips and strategies on how you can create a successful Amazon FBA private label business. So if you enjoy videos like this, or especially if you've been around my channel, consider subscribing. All right, let's get started. As with any business, the ultimate goal is to make money. And to be successful, it's imperative that you know all the numbers. This includes all your costs, Amazon fees, and duties. So whether you're already selling on Amazon or not, if you haven't done so already, it's important that you review how the new tariffs will affect your bottom line. It actually amazes me how many people I've worked with that don't know what their costs and profit margins are when I ask them. You can't expect to run a successful business like that. If you're one of these people, I have a video that I'll link to up here that goes over how to calculate your profit and fees. This is something you need to do before you commit to a product idea, not after when you've already paid your supplier to have it manufactured. So what is a tariff? It's a tax imposed on the importer of goods from a foreign country. And in this case, over 2,000 products have been affected by the recent 25% tariff. The amount of the duty typically varies based on the product. What category does it fall under, and what materials it's made out of. However, many of the products that you can see on this list now have a flat rate of 25%. So what that means for us as Amazon sellers is to first determine if our products are affected. This also applies if you're in the product research phase. You need to know if the product you're planning on selling is affected so you can plan accordingly. So in order to tell if your product is affected, you need to find out what the HS code is for your products. The HS code is the harmonized tariff schedule that breaks down the duties for each category of products. You can typically get the HS code from your supplier, as they should be familiar with it since they've been exporting the product to the US. Or your freight forwarder can tell you. Just tell them what the product is, what the purpose is, and what material it's made out of. You can also look it up yourself. For example, if you go to the website freightos.com, you can look up what the HS codes are for your product. And I'll leave links to all the websites that I'm going to show in this video in the video description below. Now, if you go to freightos.com, you can see there's a input box over here. If you type in the product that you're selling, it's going to pull up the related categories for you to choose from. So for example, if we're doing a can opener, we can type in can opener here, hit search, and it's going to pull up the related categories that it can fall under. So you can choose the one that's most related. So for example, this one falls under tools, hand operated mechanical appliances. So if we click that, it tells you what the HS code is. And if you copy the code, you can then go to another website called flexport.com. You can paste that code in here, and it's going to pull up the results related to that code, which is this one. And then if you scroll down, you can see that there's a general tax of 3.7%. Now, I see a lot of beginners get confused on how these tariffs are actually calculated. To clarify how much you actually have to pay, the tariffs is based off what the product itself costs, not what you're selling it for on Amazon. The duty isn't imposed at the time of the sale. It's imposed at the time you import the products into the country. So for example, if you paid $5,000 to have can openers made and $1,000 to have it shipped, the amount you're taxed is based on the $5,000 only, not including the shipping costs. This is important for you to understand. Otherwise, you'd be calculating your costs and profits incorrectly. So if you're affected by the higher tariffs, what can you do to minimize the impact? Well, first, let me explain why I'm not worried about the increase in tariffs. All of my products have high margins, anywhere from 24 to 60%. I specifically go after products with high margins, and I make sure that I'm adding value so I can command a high price point to get the higher margins. With high margins, you give yourself tons of wiggle room for advertising budget, as well as absorbing any fluctuations that can affect your bottom line, such as an increase in duties. For example, if we take a look at a breakdown of one of my products, you can see here in the Excel spreadsheet that I have a sale price of $27.97. And the unit cost is $5, not including shipping. This is actually a bundle item, so it's a total price for the entire bundle. So you can see here that I was originally paying a 4% duty, which is calculated off this $5 unit cost. So 4% of $5 is 20 cents. And the shipping cost per unit is 54 cents. The FBA fees, including the referral fee, is $5.40. So my total cost is $11.14. That's unit cost plus the duty, plus the shipping, plus the FBA fees is $11.14. And you can see the profit is $16.83. So that's the sale price minus the total cost. Now, since the increase in tariffs, I'm now paying 25% on this product. So 25%, again, the duty is based off the unit cost of my product, which is still $5. So 25% of $5 is now $1.25. Now, if I add my unit cost together, again, now it's the unit cost of $5 plus $1.25 plus the 54 cents shipping, because it hasn't changed, plus the FBA fees, because it hasn't changed. My new total cost is $12.19. So my profit has gone down now to $15.78. So as you can see, although the tariffs have gone up 21%, my bottom line, or my total profit margin, has only gone down by 6.2%, which is just over $1. So because I've added a lot of value to my product and I'm commanding a high price for that value, that gives me a huge profit margin. So even though the tariffs have increased substantially, my profit margin, or my bottom line, is barely affected. Okay, so that's why it's important that you calculate all your profits and fees and add value so you know exactly what you're paying and what your profit margin is going to be at the end of the day. This is specifically why I suggest never competing based on price. It will always end up being a race to the bottom, and in situations like this, leaves you with no wiggle room and you end up making no money. So what can you do to minimize the effect of the higher tariffs? The first thing you should do is renegotiate with your supplier. Explain to them that the higher taxes have affected both of your businesses, and because they don't want to lose your business, see if you can come to an agreement where you can both share the added expense. You can also raise your prices to cover the added costs. Ultimately, the tariffs affect all of the sellers that have sourced from China. So if all the sellers have slim margin and are at risk of not making any money, everyone will either have to stop selling the product or pass those costs on to the buyer. So don't think you're alone in this situation. You can also try to source your product outside of China. Shop around on Alibaba's India or Vietnam's website. Both are excellent alternatives to the Chinese suppliers. Or you can try sourcing locally in the US, Canada, Mexico, or South America. Get quotes and explore your options. An excellent tool to help you find suppliers outside of China is Jungle Scout's game-changing supplier database tool. It comes with a web app subscription, so if you already have a subscription to the web app, you already have access to the supplier database tool. So if we jump into the supplier database tool, you can see here that you can search by product, company, or supplier. And in this case, we're gonna search by product. And this is such a powerful tool because it allows you to find suppliers of the product you're trying to find and vet them through their tool. It'll show you who they're currently selling to, what they've imported, and how frequently they've imported it. And actually I have a couple videos that go into detail on how to use this, including a video where Greg Mercer, the founder and CEO of Jungle Scout, shows us how to use their new powerful tool. And I'll leave a link to both of these videos in the video description below if you're looking for more information on how to use this new tool. So for example, if we jump onto here and we're looking for a can opener, we can do a search for can opener, and it's gonna pull up all of the suppliers that have imported can openers into the US. And you can see here, it shows you how many shipments they've had and how many customers, who the customers are, and a breakdown of what the type of products they've imported. So if we scroll down, you can see, for example, Ford HK Limited, they're located in Hong Kong. They've shipped 763 shipments to a total of 10 companies. You can see some of these are huge companies like Dollarama, 99-cent Wholesales, Target, Butler. And if you click here, it'll show you when and how many shipments they had in the recent past, including a breakdown of exactly what was in that shipment. You can see here, this shipment went to Dollarama, and they're clear round serving bowls. And it gives you the HS code here and how many was in that shipment. Now, what's powerful here, you can choose what countries imported the product. So in this case, we're going to remove China from the list. And you can search for new suppliers outside of China to produce your can opener. And a pro tip here, which makes this so powerful, is you can actually use this tool to find who the suppliers are of your competitors. And again, I go over how to do this in those videos that I'll link to in the video description. And moving on, another pro tip to avoid higher tariffs is to look up the HS codes for your product and see if it falls under several categories. Some products have a gray area for which category applies, and one category can actually have less duties than another. If that happens to be the case for you, then you can import your products using the HS code that has lower duties. So for example, if we jump back and take a look at the HS codes that we looked at earlier, this HS code has a general duty of 3.7%. But if we go over here and do can opener, again, you can see that we originally chose this one, but you can see that this one also can apply. You can see that it's also a tool, hand, household tools. So if we click that one, you can see it's a slightly different HS code. So if we copy that one, so if we go and look this code up, you can see that there's different tax rates here. So for example, if we scroll down and we see this code here, 820750.40, if you use this HS code for your can openers, which applies because it's suitable for cutting metal and parts thereof, it has an 8.4% duty, right? So make sure you're choosing the HS code that applies that has the least duty, and you can save yourself a lot of money. And the last two options you can explore at your own risk. This is not advice, there's just some options that I've seen other sellers take. You can have your shipment routed to another country first, like Vietnam or Japan, so it appears to have originated from another country besides China to avoid the China tariffs. Another option, which I know already happens all the time, is that suppliers will write up the invoice for a lesser amount so that you get taxed on a lower purchase amount. You can do these at your own risk, as there's high penalties and fines if you get caught. Okay? I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll leave links in the video description below to a coupon code for Jungle Scout if you want to try out the supplier database tool. Alright, thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And to make sure you never miss a video, be sure to click that bell icon to turn on notifications. There's also a link in the video description below to our community forums, which you should totally join. And if you're looking for more tips and strategy videos, click or tap over here. And as always, thanks for watching.